What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made this. Beautiful, delicious, smoky, meaty, cheesy, beefy, amazing barbecue beef pinwheels on the grill. Coming up. This is some meat. Pat it dry. And what I got here is a flank steak. Nothing too fancy here, not that much marbling, good grain structure on there, but you could use whatever cut you like. Because today we're making some beef pinwheels, and that's a recipe I've been seeing online for a long time now, but never actually made. But essentially what we're gonna do is take a cut of meat, butterfly it out, stuff it with whatever we want, roll it up, cut it into steaks, and throw it on the grill. So flank steak works really well for this. Skirt steak would be another great choice, but because it's gonna be so thin and full of a lot of other flavors, you really don't need to go anything fancy like a ribeye or a strip or something like that. But first thing I'm going to do is kind of clean this up a little bit. If there's anything weird on there, anything hanging off like that little piece of fat or some silver skin or something like that, I'll go ahead and zip that right on off. Round off the corners. Got some silver skin and fat on this side. I'm not too concerned about it, but anything that peels up will come off nice and easily. Zip. Whoop. As for the rest of it, I'm gonna leave that fat on there. Not too concerned about it. But like I mentioned, first thing to do is to get this thing butterflied. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a sharp knife and cut it in half lengthwise and open it up. And I just checked the mail, and this came in the mail. Wasn't expecting that, but this is a knife made by Montana Knife Company and the Bearded Butchers, and they sent me one, which is really cool. I didn't even know they were doing that, but this is like a perfect looking boning knife. Love the texture of the handle. It's incredibly sharp right out of the box. It really does look beautiful. So we're gonna give it a shot. So shout out to Montana Knife Company and the Bearded Butchers. Thank you for sending me that. That's awesome. And going with the grain, I'm just going to open it up this way, which might be kind of tricky, but luckily a nice sharp knife will make easy work of it. Right down the middle, trying to keep it nice and flat. And yeah, razor sharp. Gotta love that. I really don't have all that much experience butterflying steaks like this, so I'm just gonna do my best. Try not to create any holes in there. But luckily it's gonna be all rolled up at the end anyway, so if I do butcher this, it's not the end of the world. Beautiful. Opened up nicely, maybe a little bit deeper. And there we go. And just like that, all flattened up, looking really good. And if I had everything ready, I could roll this up right now, but I haven't made it yet. So first thing I'm gonna do is hit this with some seasoning. I'm going with our new steak rub. This should work out really well for this. And just a nice healthy coating on both sides. Smells good. Flip it over. And we'll do this side as well. Beautiful. And now I'm gonna pop this on a tray and stick it in the fridge for the next little bit while we get everything else ready. Let all that salt and flavors kind of penetrate into the meat a little bit, but probably not necessary for a full dry brine. Looking good. So now into the fridge this goes for probably the next hour or so while we get everything else ready. First things first, we're gonna make a quick duxelles. So I got some baby bella mushrooms here going right into the old food processor. Yep. And pulse that for a couple minutes. Beautiful. Next up, going in with a knob of butter. Get that melting down. And once nice and frothy, in we go with one shallot. And let that cook down for about a minute or two. And once that's softened up a bit, we're gonna go in with our garlic and cook that for another minute, not too long. Oh, it smells so good. And once that garlic is nice and fragrant, in we go with our blitzed up mushrooms. And now we're gonna let this cook down for the next 5 or so minutes to release all the water out of those mushrooms. Also going with a nice big fat pinch of salt at this point to help the process and get everything flavored up nice and nice. And once that's cooked down a bit, fogging up the camera, we're gonna go in with a shot of bourbon because what doesn't sound good about that? Will it light? Ah, yep, can't really see it in the broad daylight though. Oh, it smells amazing. And lastly, I'm gonna go in with some fresh thyme. Oh God, that was terrible. I should have picked this first. Ow. And let that cook down for another couple of seconds, and our duxelles is done. Next up, pan is clean and hot. Gonna go in with a nice drizzle of some sizzle. A little more. We're gonna make some sauteed spinach. So going in with a whole bunch of baby spinach. And this is gonna break down a lot. So use more than you think. It's the most greens ever in one shot on this entire channel. Luckily, we're wrapping it in meat. Pinch of salt, and just let it cook down. Shouldn't take long. Get back in there. Really is crazy how much that shrinks up. And after like 2 minutes total, this stuff is wilted down, looking really nice. I'm gonna finish it off with a nice cheek of some lemon juice, add a little brightness to the party, toss that around a little bit, and let it cool down for a minute. And then out it comes onto the board. Gonna hit that with a couple of chili flakes, just for good measure. Add a little kick to the party, and I'm just gonna rough chop it. Beautiful. And now that all that's done, back to the steak. And if we look at this thing, the grain is running in this direction, meaning at the end of the day, we want to slice it in this direction, meaning we have to roll it up this way, which is going to give us a pretty thick steak. And I'm not mad about it. Boop. I'm gonna go this way because it's a little thinner on this side. I'd rather have that on the inside. Help it cook a little more evenly. But first things first, grab our duxelles, which is this nice mushroom paste. Honestly, not the most appealing looking thing in the world, but tastes really good. I took a bite of it a minute ago. Very flavorful stuff. And this is typically used to make beef Wellington, but I figured it'd be a really nice stuffing for this. I probably should have just leaned full Wellington and put some prosciutto down first, but maybe next time. And because I did a pretty crap job of butchering this thing, we got this big hole over here. We're gonna just probably end up with some weird end cut steaks, but you know what? I'm okay with it. As long as we get 1 or 2 nice center cut beauties, it'll be tasty. So nice layer of duxelle down. Now I'm gonna go down with some of the spinach, which is also quite tasty. I need to eat more spinach in my diet. And this isn't a bad way to go about doing it, folks. Beautiful. And now for some cheese. And I've been debating all day whether or not I should use provolone or Swiss. I went with Swiss today. Play off the whole mushroom Swiss situation here a little bit. So I'm just gonna lay some Swiss cheese down. Beautifully. And again, I've never done this before, so I'm not sure if this is proper technique, but you know, if I fail, I'll let you know. Alrighty, that's looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and roll it up. I'm gonna go as tight as possible. Ooh, everything's starting to move. Oh God, oh goodness. I think we're just gonna wing it, folks. We're just gonna do it. Nice and tight. I guess it'll just naturally squeeze out the extra. Okay with it. Beautiful, look at that log. So now with some butcher's twine, I'm gonna go through and tie this up in a couple of different spots to make sure everything is in fact nice and tight and nice and plump. Beautiful, snip the tip, do it again. And it's also at this stage, you could really decide how thick you want your steaks to be. I'm going for pretty thick, 1.5 to 2 inches. Butcher's knot, coming in handy. So then you wrap it around twice, you can just cinch it without having to hold it in the middle. Yoink. Ah. And we'll do one on the end as well. Wrap it around once, wrap it around twice. Beautiful. And we snip. Now whenever I see these done, they also bust out some skewers. And you know what? I want this thing to stay together, so I'm gonna follow suit, even though it is in fact already tied. Boop. 1, 2, and 3. Now that I'm looking at this thing, I think I screwed up a little bit because I'm looking at it like I'm going to cut exactly where the strings are, when in fact I want the strings in the middle of the steak. So I'm going to move these skewers to right where the strings are. That way they stay together a little bit better. Yoink. And now I'm going to clean up this end over here. God, this knife is sharp. Save that for a little snack. And then start slicing out some beautiful pinwheel steaks. Look at that. Kind of messy, but looks pretty good. It's like a stuffed filet mignon. Beautiful. And then I'll clean up the end on this guy as well. Make a stir fry or something. And just like that, 4 beautiful pinwheel steaks ready to hit the grill. Let's go ahead and fire up the pit. This grill is screaming hot. I'm gonna hit it with a little Wagyu beef tallow spray for good measure. Make sure everything's nice and lubed up. And now we're gonna do our best to cook these without them falling apart and none of the insides coming out and burning and sticking to the grates. But at this point, anything could go wrong. Beautiful sizzle though. Love it. Now we're just gonna cook it like a steak. Got some good sears on both ends. And we're just kind of playing it by ear at this point, you know. Gotta keep an eye on the internal temp, probably aiming around 125 or so for a nice medium rare. But really, this is just some classic summer grilling right here. Cooking some steaks. Alrighty, it's been, I don't know, 2-3 minutes. Let's see how these are looking. Ooh, not too bad. Got some good color on there. A little bit of leakage, but nothing too horrible. Oh yeah, love that sear. Seared steak with seared cheese. Ooh, that one got a little toasty. Hotter in the back. Heard. Oh yeah, that looks really good though. Everything seems to be according to plan here. Get some color on this side, and we'll see where we're at. I'm gonna go ahead and shut the lid for this portion. Get a little sear and some carryover cooking at the same time. And by that I mean direct heat and some radiant heat. All right, bottom sides are seared, so now I'm gonna go ahead and try and get some color on these outsides. Kind of like a filet, you know what I mean? Big thick steak here. Wonder how this would work in sous vide. I'll have to ask Guga. Very pleasant cook though, nothing's unraveling. It's cooking up nice, good color, all the fillings are staying in. Pretty good option for summer grilling, folks. I'm liking it. Look at that beautiful sear on there. Love it. Charcoal flavor for days. Seems to be getting tighter too, which is great. And the skewers aren't burning. Gotta love it when a plan goes according the plan. So at this point, we've got some really good color on there. Cheese is melted, rocking right around 120, a little bit less, 115. So now I'm gonna move these over to the cool side of the grill and let them come up to about 120, 125. But because we seared these off so hot, they're probably gonna carry over a good amount. So I'm gonna let these chill out on the cool side for a little bit, see what they carry up to, and wait till they're done. And there they are, folks, in all their glory. Came off the pit, carried over to around the 125, 130 range. So now I'm gonna go ahead and snip off the string, if I can find it. Don't wanna leave that on there. Yoink. And now it's time to slice on in. Summer is in full swing. Got the birds chirping, the bugs being loud as all hell, and some beautiful steak off the grill. Look at that. Come on, tell me you don't want to take a bite out of that. Smells fantastic. And it's steak and vegetables cooked together. Come on, nothing wrong here, folks. Little pinwheel burn ends on the end. Gotta say, pretty fun cook, you know? Take a cut that I would probably never buy usually, a nice select flank steak, and turn it into something that looks like that. I mean, yeah, I'm ready to dive on in. I mean, there's times in life, folks, where you just gotta look at it. I mean, you got cheese, you got mushrooms, you got veg, you got grilled meat, beautiful, medium, rare, all in one convenient package. Let's taste it. You know, I thought about making a sauce or a side dish or something, but this really has it all included, you know? It's cheesy, it's full of veg, it's on the grill, it's got everything you need. So, and that's what summer grilling is all about, you know what I mean? This came together super quick, cooked up really quick, and I'm here for it. Whoa! Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that is fantastic. That meat is grilled to perfection. I mean, come on, look at that. That duxelle is perfectly flavored. The cheese is obviously fantastic. Kind of just dissolved into it. I'm not really seeing much cheese, but I also didn't leave it on the grill, so pretty cool how it just kind of glued everything together. The spinach is nicely cooked down, so nothing too raw or vegetal in there, and all in all, solid bite of food. Oh yeah. I was very close to throwing some more rub on these after I cut them up, but they're perfectly seasoned, and I'm glad I didn't do it because that's a phenomenal bite of food right there. Oh yeah. And it's so cute. I mean, look at that. A little bit of cheese, got some veg in there. Just smells like a perfectly grilled steak. And the best part is, it looks like a filet mignon. So if you serve this to your neighbors or something, be like, here you go, pop that on their plate. Yes, please. Let's go for a nice cross section on this one. Look at all that goodness. Got some cheese, that spinach. That duxelle works really well for this. It was really easy to spread out. It does have some beef Wellington vibes to it, because that's the only other time I ever eat duxelle. And the flies are apparently loving it as well. But highly recommend this one, folks. That is a solid bite. So meaty and incredibly flavorful. It's funny, you know, I've seen recipes for beef pinwheels and recipes like this all over the internet and in cookbooks for years now, but I've never done it because it just didn't seem that exciting. But now that I made one and I'm staring it down the barrel here and I'm tasting it, it is a fantastic bite of food. And you can get super creative with this too, with your fillings. Throw some pesto in there, some pine nuts. I mean, what else should we turn into a pinwheel? And then there's pork pinwheels as well. Little chorizo roll up. But just a great way to enjoy a flank steak, I'll tell you that. Juicy, tender, perfectly seasoned. That's really good. Brooke,
yes.
Would you like to try some barbecue beef pinwheels stuffed with duxelle, Swiss cheese, and spinach?
Yeah, that sounds good.
They're really
I haven't had
tasty.
anything like this.
Really?
I mean, I've had like a pinwheel at like my lunch cafeteria in high school, like with deli meats and a tortilla.
This is not that. It's just a beautiful steak stuffed with all sorts of goodness. And you got the accompaniment of the loudest bugs in America.
Okay. I was not anticipating it to be steak.
What'd you think it was?
I thought it was going to be like brisket and like fall apart.
Nope, this is a medium rare steak.
It's good though.
Thank you.
Wow, that is good.
It's an all-in-one meal. It would be interesting to do this with like a brisket cut, but I don't think the veg would survive that journey. No.
That's good, babe.
I like the flavors of it.
Nothing like my cafeteria pinwheel.
Oh, good. It's like the poor man's Wellington, who's also on a keto diet and can't eat bread.
Got some good salt.
That's our new steak rub on sale now at chudsbbq.com.
Nice plug.
Thanks. Pretty easy thing to do too, you know? This is one of the shorter video shoots I've had. It's not often I can do a video in less than 4 hours.
Oh, yeah.
As you know, because we ate beef ribs at midnight last night.
But that was good, babe.
I think this is one of those things that I could actually eat a lot of and not feel too bad, because it's pretty lean meat. It's got some veg in there. The cheese isn't like overpoweringly gooey or, you know.
I think I want a French fry.
Ooh.
But
with this very last bite of steak, I think it's time for the official taste test. Ow! Yeah. All right, y'all, and that is it. That is how to make some absolutely fantastic mushroom Swiss stuffed beef pinwheels on the grill. I highly recommend giving this one a try. You know, it's a really quick and easy thing to do. You can use whatever fillings you like, and it's a great way to take a single flank steak and feed a whole bunch of people. But please let me know in the comments what I should stuff this thing with next, because that was a really fun experiment, real tasty weeknight dinner, and something I'll definitely be doing again pretty soon. But all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button. Let YouTube know by dropping a like on this video. If you give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. Love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to all the Patreon members. Thank you for supporting Team Chud and allowing me to keep making all these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace.